Hi everybody, welcome to day 2 of your training, and today we are going to start to dive right in and start teaching you the basics on what you need to do to be a great Beachbody coach and to start being successful. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a background on my journey and where I started and kind of what that process has looked like for me. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Kim. I am a mom of 2. I have a daughter who is going to be 4 and a son who will be 2 in a couple months. So definitely busy. I work full time for my parents' marketing and fulfillment company. So, I travel, I've got meetings all over the place. So I'm really, really busy. But I had been using Beachbody products for a really long time. I, did P90X, Insanity. After I had my daughter, I was a fitness instructor. I did teach a boot camp and body pump classes and just different types of classes. But after I had my daughter, I couldn't really find the time to get to the gym. So I still taught some boot camps, but I really had to sort of cut back. And it was a bummer because I really enjoyed teaching. I really enjoyed fitness. But after I had my daughter, I was on bed rest for a long time. I wasn't allowed to work out, which was just so frustrating. And so I struggled getting back into shape after having her. And so my husband and I committed to T25. That was the program that was out or that was coming out, and we had some really good results. I tried the Shakeology, liked it, but wasn't sure it was for me. It was super expensive. I had to drink the vegan formula because the regular formula just was upsetting my stomach. I have a lot of stomach issues, so I was like, I don't know if it's worth $140 a month. We've got a baby, and it's just not worth it. So, I did T25. I don't know, there was a bunch of other programs that were out that I already had. So I just started doing them and, going, running, whatever. Then I got pregnant with my son Connor, and I decided while I was pregnant with him that I was due right around Christmas, and I told my family, if you want to get me something, get me the 21-day fix. Again, still not a coach. I'd been approached numerous times, but was like, I don't have time for that. So I got the 21-day fix, and a friend of mine said, I'm part of a challenge group. Would you like to join? She wasn't a coach at the time, but I joined her coach's challenge group and really wanted nothing to do with it other than recipes. That's all I really cared about. And so when I joined, I was like, wow, this is incredible. There's so many people who are moms, who are busy, who are working, who have the same struggles I do. And I found myself going back numerous times throughout the day, really for encouragement and asking questions. And that piece of the group fitness atmosphere that I enjoyed of being around people was being replaced in a really positive way by this online group, but it was so much more than that because they were encouraging me in all other areas of my life. So fitness, being a mom, working full time, I was living with my parents at the time because my husband and I were building a house. So like, how do I meal prep when I'm sharing a kitchen? It was just, really incredible. And I needed a new car. We were building a house, and I thought, okay, I'm not teaching anymore. What better way to be able to cover the cost of a car payment than to be a coach? Because I saw my coach doing it and I saw other people doing it, and I was like, well, I'm going to give it a shot. I was on social media, but I wasn't one who would like post my workouts or post selfies, like none of that. So I reached out to my coach and said I'd like to sign on and become a coach, and was, really just like, okay, if I can make a couple $100 a month and we don't have to dip into our, what we're putting aside in our savings for a car payment, I'm going to be happy. And the first like month or 2 into the business, I started to see some success. I went through the training. I did everything they told me to do, and I started making money. I started helping people with their fitness, and I started to really love it. And so then I started looking at people and, like Janelle Summers and Christine Dwyer and Melanie Mitro and all these other top coaches. And I'm like, they're just like normal people. Janelle Summers is a super introvert and she's killing it. And so I'm like, I think I could really do this. And that's when I decided to go all in. I was like, if I can make this work and be able to, you know, quit my full-time job or at least step back a little bit and, be able to take that, not have to count on that for, our finances. So not have to financially need it, and to be able to allow my family business to hire somebody else to do it full-time. I can still work part-time, but I could be home with my kids. So when my daughter goes to kindergarten, I can get her on the bus. I can go to her school for events. I can be there when she gets off the bus. I can be home with my son during the day. We can travel when we want to. We can go to Disney when we want to go to Disney. We can do things. Like, it started to become pretty apparent, I'm not a huge home show type person. I don't want to have to be committing my weekends and my evenings to doing home shows. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I really wanted something that I could work from home around my time. I love fitness. I love the products. It was something that was just, it seemed like a good fit for me. So ever since that point, so maybe a little over a year ago, I decided I was going to be all in. I was going to do whatever it took to make it work. So what I want you to do is, think about your goals. So maybe 10 goals over the next 12 months that you want to achieve with this business, and really put some time into it. And if they're scary, that's cool. Write them down. Part of this is to really kind of push yourself outside of your comfort zone and see, what could be possible. So like, think about things that you would love to do, or what would be amazing if things could happen in your life that would just, like, blow your mind, that you would just be so thrilled. What would that be? So that's number one. Number two, I want you to write down your why. So what made you decide to work this business? Why did you, when you were approached by me or your coach, or, you saw a post on Facebook, or, and you responded to it, why did you answer to that? Why did you say, yes, I'm going to do that? Because you're going to find out as we go through this process, it is so important to know why you're doing this. The third thing that I want you to do is identify how much time you're willing to invest in the business. And this can vary for everybody. It can be 1 to 2 hours a day. It can be, 5 to 6 hours a day. It really depends on where you're at now, what you want out of the business, and how much you're willing to commit. So for me personally, when I first started, it was like an hour or so a day. Until I saw the opportunity. And then, the way I operate, when I'm in, I'm in. And so it was like, I got up extra early to get my workout in, and then to still have an hour to do what I needed to do for my power hour. Over my lunch break, I spent, a half hour to 45 minutes doing Beachbody stuff. And then when my kids go to bed at night, I spend another hour or two on the computer doing different things. But that's just me personally. So you need to figure out how much time you're willing to invest in this, knowing that what you get out of it, is based on what you put into it. So if you're sitting there saying, one of my goals with this is that in 12 months, I want to be able to walk away from my full-time job, then 1 to 2 hours a day may not cut it. You may need to up that a little bit. If you're sitting there saying, look, I just want to cover groceries, I want to have some extra money, I want to be able to take my kids on vacation, then 1 or 2 hours a day is probably sufficient. So I really want you to think about, how much time you're willing to put in, what your time looks like, and, kind of tie that to what do I want to get out of that, right? So you're not going to be able to make 6 figures 12 to 18 months from now if you're only willing to invest an hour or so a day. But if that's what you want to do, you want to do it more as a hobby coach and just have some extra money, then that's perfect. And that's the beauty of this business. It all comes down to what you want to do with it. Okay, so the homework for tonight, number 1, write down 10 goals, 10 things that you want to achieve within the next 12 months, and dream big. So really think about it. Take some time and think about it. Number 2, identify why you're doing this. So what drew you to Beachbody? What drew you to this coaching opportunity? Why are you invested right now? And number 3, how much time are you willing to put into it? So, that's going to be important. So if I'm your personally sponsored coach, or whoever your personally sponsored coach is, you want to send those 3 things to them once you're done today, because that's going to help us figure out how we need to guide you. So if we know that we have a coach who's all in, I'm doing this 12 months from now, I want to quit my job, we know what the direction we need to put you in. If you're sitting there saying, I really just want to do this as a hobby, I just want to make some extra bucks, which is 100% fine, we know what kind of direction you need as well. So take some time, figure that out, and then get that to your personally sponsored coach. All right, guys, have a great day.